What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another quick tips video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about another question asked by a viewer, and they were asking, how do I write interesting percussive rhythms? So to demonstrate, I'm going to use a percussion library, Metropolis Arc 3. You can do this with any percussion library, obviously, but I like Arc 3 because it has a whole bunch of drum ensembles, and they range from the low drums all the way to the high drums, so you can get a pretty good result just from using this one folder, the percussion ensembles folder. So the first way to really write interesting rhythms is, first of all, dependent on your time signature. The time signature is essentially like how many beats in every bar you have, and then the value of each of those beats is determined by the bottom number. So the more important value is the top number, because that is actually determining how the beats, the number of beats that you have, are split up within the bar. For example, if you have like 4/4, then you have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1, and so on. If you have something like 6/8 or 6/4, for example, you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. And those duple and triple rhythms are relatively common. But if you use something like 5/4 or 7/8 or something, something that is usually not really used as much, then you can get some interesting lilting rhythms and things that are a little bit less expected. So like 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, or 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, for example. Having 7 on the top would sound like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1, or the reverse, 3 and 4. So if you can subdivide your groups of beats into uneven ones, then the listener won't expect that downbeat to return when it does, because it's a kind of an uneven rhythm. So that's kind of one way to do it. But another way to build interest in your rhythms, even with a standard time signature like 4/4 or 3/4, is to introduce syncopation in your rhythms. So that's like stressing an offbeat, so it's like if you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it's like it would be like stressing an and, one of the ands, because the ands are like the weak beats. Those are the in-between beats, if that makes sense. And then in terms of the actual sonic quality, you want to be able to spice it up with not just a basic rhythm, but have little filler in sounds here and there to kind of fill in the gaps. So let me demonstrate by coming up with a little pattern here. So let's see what kind of BPM would work here. Let's just play this here. Let's go a little faster. Let's go with, I like 135 actually. Let's go with this. So let's start with the basic rhythm here. Okay, let me do that again. Didn't expect to do that. Okay, here we go. Right? So there, just for the sake of this video, let me actually quantize everything a little bit here. And then let's make sure everything is actually on the grid. Some of these are a little bit off. I played some too early, some too late, so there we go. And I think that should be good. Just bringing these over. Just like that. Let's hear. So that should be here, and that should be here. Oops, sorry about that. And that should be there. There we go. Okay, so that is the first fundamental layer, and even in there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The and of 2, if I stress that, it's going to make you feel like you're punching something. It's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So that is a fundamental way to introduce some interest. Now that we have some low drums, let's introduce maybe some mid drums. Like let's add in a snare ensemble, for example. See what we got here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So we get this, you know, when the bass drum is not really doing that much, I want the snare drum to kind of fill in what's happening there. And it also takes up the mid-range. The bass drum takes up a lot of low end, so you want something to fill up the frequency spectrum where it's not as busy. Nice. Let's make that about 80 or 79% there, quantized. Okay, next layer, let's have some sticks in there, or some rims. Here we go. Let's call that rims. Now I want the rims to kind of accent some of the downbeats, but I also want the syncopation to stand out as well. So I'm going to put that in as well here. Oop, let's start from the beginning. Play the last part a little bit early. Kind of like that. Let's see. Should have there, and then that should be good. Oops. Let's see this. So there you go. You can see the rims are kind of accenting some of the offbeats as well as the downbeats to give it that little more emphasis, right? And some little for the 16th notes just to have a little more flair. So you can see there that the rims are doing, you know, some of the downbeats, but they're also doing the syncopations, the offbeats, and then I also have some of these quicker notes, the 16ths, to kind of, you know, make it all flow together a little bit better. Let's do another one. Let's do a shaker, or let me see. Let's do a wood percussion ensemble. So let's do woods here. So now, for the most part, I basically had a longer beat on the first one, on beat 1, and I didn't really have any drums coming in except the snare. I had that coming in a little bit afterwards, but I want to start the wood blocks with a 16th rhythm just to mix things up just a little bit. So let's see what this could sound like. Okay, here we go. All right, let's quantize this really quickly, see what we got. These ones are just a little bit early. Here we go. This one should be a little bit over there. So actually you can hear this. Bring this over. Right, so there you have already 4 layers, and they're already doing quite different things. I would say the snare is kind of the one leading everything because it maintains and it's playing the most notes out of everything. So if you can already do that with 4 patches, then you know you don't have to do that much more than that. Again, it depends entirely on context, but I just wanted to show you how to fill in the little gaps. I also tried to use instruments that span the frequency spectrum. So I have the low ones through the bass drum, and then I would also use toms in this scenario to really emphasize the build-ups into the next downbeat. The snare is a really nice mid-range percussive instrument, drum. The rims and the woods are both high-end ones, so that adds a little bit of shine and clackiness to the overall thing. And that's really the key to creating a nice frequency balance in your track. It's not really through mixing, although it does help, you know, to polish everything. But when we're talking about the arrangement-wise, you just want to choose instruments that span the frequency spectrum so it can fill it all all nicely. It's a simple concept, but you have to know the instruments quite well to know the sounds that they create in order to make your arrangement effective. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, I quantized this because I wanted to show, how all the things line up together properly. But in a full mix, obviously this matters a little bit less, as long as all the elements are there and you get a really full, rich sound. You don't have to quantize 100% like I mentioned before. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Please leave them in the comments below. I will see you in another quick tips video very soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.